Hello there, Miss Montana. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thanks so much for joining me today on this call. I wanted to um, introduce you to, well, introduce Knock to my sphere and let people know what you guys are about, because I'm so excited to have someone who can finally fill the gap of the bridge loan problem. So tell me, first of all, in a nutshell, what the Knock Home Swap program is. What does it do for a seller?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Knock Home Swap is really an innovative loan program, and it allows your clients to buy their new home before they sell or even think about listing their existing property. So it's the perfect solution for those customers who are buying and selling at the same time, and it gives them the power to unlock all of their hard-earned equity in their existing home to use towards the purchase of their new home, but without all of the usual hassle and stress of the normal process. So it's fantastic for you as well, because now your clients are able to make non-contingent offers. They can move really quickly on homes that interest them, and all of your listings will look fantastic because we also provide assistance to prep their home to get that ready. So we do all of the hard work. We qualify your clients. We provide a loan that allows them to buy now. We have a 0% interest bridge component that helps to cover a portion of the down payment on their new home, up to $25,000 in repairs on their existing property to maximize its value, and up to 6 months of mortgage payments on their old house while it's listed. And
Wow.
all of this in one easy program. So
It's got to be expensive though, right?
no, actually, the customer only pays a 1.25% fee at closing, but we
Okay.
don't charge an origination fee. And that's typically going to be about 1% as well.
So about a quarter, 0.25% more. What about rates?
We have competitive rates to other lenders. We are a lender, so we are competitive on the market. We also do find that our lender fees are typically a little bit lower than most other lenders on average. So that does help as well.
Well, like I said, I am just so excited. I have not personally had a deal, be able to use a deal and have it go through Knock. I have one in process. We're going to see how this plays out. But I mean, again, I've been reaching out to some clients of mine that they're so on the fence. They want to move, they want to sell, they need bigger space or whatever it might be. But they're so, with the inventory issue, there's just so little inventory that they're afraid. They're like, God, if I put my house on the market, what if I don't find a house? So let me just break this down again really quickly. So if we have those clients, or if you happen, people watching this happen to be one of those people, they can go out. You made the word non-contingent, and what that means to those watching, this is huge in this market. If you are going out looking for a home, you decide, yes, I want to buy, but I'm going to make it contingent on the sale of my home. Your offer is going to go to the bottom of the stack, if it is even really looked at. That's been my experience. I think everyone is in agreement that's in this industry right now. That's huge. So to be able to take that that contingency away, really, and go into their equity, or basically, what's the word I'm looking at? Break into their equity. How much equity do they need actually in their house to be able to qualify for that program?
So ideally 30% or more equity.
Okay. So they'll be able to unlock that equity ahead of time. So be able to afford basically buying that home non-contingent, and then once they've got that home, do they go under contract on that home and actually close it, or do they go under contract on that home and then put their house on the market? How does that work?
Nope. So they go under contract, they completely close on their new home. So they get to move out and list a vacant property, which obviously during these crazy times, that's even more beneficial now. So you don't have strangers walking through your listing while you're living there, potentially contaminating it. And this makes it so much easier during this time to make things safer and more sanitary.
Yeah, you mentioned $25,000 to prep. that could even be put into, we were talking about a vacant home. Yes, a vacant home is great, but maybe doing some staging if the house is already not, you know, in great repair, but we could use $25,000 to do some painting or carpet. And like you were saying, get that home in kind of tip-top condition so that they're going to get more for that home as well.
Absolutely. And it's so much easier to do that work when it's vacant. No one wants to be moving furniture and inhaling paint fumes while they're living there. So they're just not going to do the work. And they could take a big chunk of money, you know, leave that on the table by not doing it.
Right, exactly. What would you say you're finding your typical transactions are taking as far as the sales side? I mean, you mentioned there's a 6-month mortgage coverage, so we're talking about on their current home. So what happens again in this market? I don't think it's gonna happen, but let's say that house isn't sold in 6 months. What then?
So we do provide a backup offer on the loan, on the old house. So that is really just a mechanic of the process, but it is something that is a fallback option in the very, very, very rare occurrence that it doesn't sell in 6 months. They are able to take that. But as I said, the backup offer is really a mechanic of the process. The goal is obviously for you as the agent to sell the listing on market for its maximum value. But that backup offer does allow us to underwrite knowing the debt of the old house is covered. So we don't have to take their old payment into account in DTI calculations.
Right. Okay. Well, that's, but like you were saying, you're looking at everything in the front end before you ever even list. So knowing like days on market and things are, if it's going to be a high risk situation in the first place, it might not be one that will even qualify for the program in the first place. So again, we're really doing that upfront due diligence to see if the house is going to qualify on the basic parameters, and digging a little deeper, and then depending on us agents and realtors to be able to price that property accurately at what seems to be market value, and hopefully that'll all be bid up anyway. So I am so thrilled with this. How do you have anything going right now in Colorado? Because you guys are really new to Colorado, and I believe Colorado Home Realty is one of 3 offices that are qualified to do knock.
Yep. So we're partnered with 5 brokerages right now in Denver. So we do have some home swaps underway already, even though we are pretty new. So that's really exciting. They're all in kind of different stages, but the one that is furthest along, they have already closed on their new home and have moved in. And we are about to list their homes. So I say we, but I not really, but I do feel like a big part of the process.
It's a team effort, you know, and it's so great to be partnered with people like you. So that is so cool. Maybe we can touch base, you know, in a couple months and just see where we are, what's closed, you know, hopefully my deal. I'm working on one that may involve someone moving from another state. And that's something that people need to know as well. It doesn't just have to be Colorado. So if you are a seller and you happen to be, you know, wanting to come back to Colorado, or vice versa, or you want to leave Colorado, go to another state, you know, we just need to find a qualified knock realtor, right, in that state, and make sure that we can get that set up. But that, again, doesn't preclude you from taking advantage of this awesome knock home swap program.
Right. We are in several other markets. We're not everywhere quite yet. So we are currently in Phoenix, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Houston, and Atlanta. And we are planning on being in 21 markets by the end of next year. That might even be more. So we are trying to get nationwide as soon as possible. So yeah, hopefully there will be a lot of cross-state home swaps.
That would be awesome. It's so exciting. It's really fun to see. Well, again, I really appreciate your time. Now, if people have questions, we're going to have some things here on the screen that will be able to direct us to you. But what would you suggest? Should they reach out to someone at Home Swap or at Knock?
I would say they reach out to you and talk to you about it, and then we can go from there to get their property qualified and then get them qualified for their loan.
Wonderful. I really appreciate it, Montana. I hope the rest of your day is blessed, and thanks again for joining us.
You too. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.